In this lecture, we're going to start exploring two data types for numbers called integers and floats. Initially, that may seem strange. Why are there two data types for numbers? The reason has to do with memory efficiency. Storing numbers with decimal values requires additional work. They're not easy to store. Therefore, it's efficient to have a data type dedicated to whole numbers and another data type for numbers with decimal values. Most of the complexities are handled for you. It's not something you'll have to worry about. Regardless, it can be beneficial to know the differences. Let's start with integers. The integer data type was designed for storing whole numbers. In our script, let's set the data variable to a random whole number. Next, let's update the variable dump function to output the data variable. As you can see, the data type has been set to integer. PHP supports negative numbers too. For example, let's add the negative symbol before the number. Despite adding this symbol, the value continues to be an integer. What if we're dealing with large numbers? For example, I'm going to set the value to 5 million. If you're like me, you may have difficulty reading this number. Unfortunately, PHP does not support commas in our numbers. Instead of using commas, we can use underscore characters. Underscore characters can be inserted anywhere inside the number. It's common practice to insert these characters for every 3 numbers. I'm going to quickly add them in. These characters don't affect the number. PHP removes them during runtime. The purpose of these characters was to help with readability for large numbers. They are completely optional. If you can read large numbers without these characters, don't feel pressured to add them. After updating the script, the large number appears normally in the preview. PHP strips away the underscore characters from the numbers. We never have to worry about them affecting our program. Let's shift our focus to floats. A float is the data type for numbers with decimals. Similar to integers, floats support negative numbers and underscore characters for large numbers. Let's create our first float. Set the data variable to the following value, 123.45. You may be wondering, why is it called a float? The reason has to do with the placement of the decimal separator. The dot can be positioned anywhere in the number. We can position it at the beginning of the number. Alternatively, we can position it between the second and third numbers. You can think of it as a character that can float anywhere around the entirety of the number. If you think that's strange, I would agree with you. There's a joke among the community that programmers are terrible at naming things. It would have been simpler to use the word decimal as the name for the type. Regardless, it's been established that numbers with decimal values are considered to be floats. In the preview, the data type has been marked as a float. Perfect. Integers and floats are two data types for storing numbers. However, PHP is doing us a favor by optimizing the memory for our program. Numbers with decimals require more memory than numbers without decimal values. Overall, we benefit from this behavior. In the next lecture, let's continue exploring data types.